No objection to those changes.
Okay. All right, no further preliminary matters, gentlemen, is that correct? State your proceed.
State calls Ellie over to the stand. Ellie, just come up here, please. Stand up, else we win. Yeah, just go right around here. Just face me on the square and you can see it. Raise your right hand, please. You swear the information brought to you today, testimony is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please be seated. Ellie, everything's being recorded, so if you just please speak up so everybody can hear it.
Yes.
Thank you. First, I'll start with your just say your name, spell your last name for the record.
Ellie Woolridge, last name W-O-O-L-D-R-I-D-G-E.
Thank you. And Ellie, how are you employed?
I work for the Radisson Hotel. I'm the social sales manager.
Okay. What's the address of the hotel you work at?
11 Tower Boulevard, Nashua.
Okay. And how long do you work there?
8 months.
All right. And again, what's your title again, please?
Social sales manager.
All right. And just generally, for the court's information, what is that title entail?
I am the sales manager for the social events, and I attend the events and manage them
Okay.
for weddings and social events.
As part of your duties there, are you authorized to ask people to leave the premises if you have a license calls to do that?
I am.
And we were working on May 25th of 2011.
Yes.
And was there some sort of event going on that evening, a significant event?
Yes.
What was that?
Democratic event with Joe Biden.
Okay. Was that was it open to the public or was it private, you know?
It was through the chamber, so it was private.
When you say chamber, do you mean Chamber of Commerce?
Chamber of Commerce.
Okay. And they had rented the facility or something like that?
Yes.
Okay. And at sometime around 5:30, was your attention drawn to something or somebody outside the front entrance?
Yes.
And what was the nature of that? What was brought to your attention?
It was brought to my attention that there was a filming taking place of our guests.
Okay. And did you look? Where were you when that was brought to your attention?
I was in my office, and I was telling one about that.
Okay. And after receiving that telephone call, what, if anything, did you do?
I went outside and asked the gentleman with the camera to please stop filming.
Okay. So I'm going to assume by that when you responded down at the front end, you could actually see this taking place.
Yes.
What did you see? Could you tell us what you saw? Recall.
I saw somebody outside with a camera talking to people that were walking by.
Okay. And did you recognize the people he was talking with?
No.
Okay. And based upon that, you said you went up and spoke to that gentleman?
Yes.
Okay. And did that gentleman identify himself?
I don't recall.
Okay. You see him in court here today?
Yes.
Okay, just please point him out, describe what he's wearing. You see him?
It's that gentleman in the
I guess
brown shirt.
you're not asking, no, she pointed out.
Without objection.
Without objection,
So, as you approached Mr. Ridley, what, if anything, happened? What was the first thing that happened?
He had a camera and he was recording, and I just asked him to put the camera down. I didn't wish to be filmed.
And did he?
He didn't at first, but then he did.
Okay. At some point, then did you ask him to step off the property?
I did.
And why was that?
Because it's private property, and for the privacy of the guests that are staying at the hotel, I asked them.
When you asked Mr. Ridley to step off the property, did he remain on the property?
He did.
And what happened after you asked him to step off the property?
He continued to record. He did tell me that he was recording it, but he did put the camera down away from me, so he wasn't filming the guest. And I informed him that I was waiting for the general manager.
He's the general manager.
Tony Luca?
Okay. Was Mr. Luca working that evening?
He was, yes.
And did you at some point contact Mr. Luca?
I did.
And did you ask Mr. Luca to respond over to where you were?
Yes.
Okay. And did he eventually?
He did.
Okay. And did you tell Mr. Ridley that Mr. Luca, the general manager, was coming?
Yes.
And did he have to leave the property at all during that time frame?
No.
Did you have a conversation with Mr. Ridley?
Yes.
Do you recall some of the substance of that conversation?
I was just explaining to him my concern
you see Mr. Luca have any interaction with Mr. Ridley at all?
I saw, yes, he did come out and he raised his hand to the camera because the camera was pointed at his face. He was uncomfortable with that, so he raised his hand to the camera and just asked him to leave.
You heard him ask him to leave. Did Mr. Ridley leave at that point?
No.
And what did you do after that?
I went inside and just went back to work.
Okay. How long did it take us to look at it? How much you say? Approximately.
It was over 5 minutes. It was quite some time.
Any time during that
5
5 minutes? This is after you told him to leave and it was private property. Mr. Ridley, yes, I'm sorry. At any time, Mr. Ridley, at any time to leave the property?
No.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Counsel, any questions for this witness?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
So you said in your direct examination that you asked Mr. Ridley to leave.
Yes.
Was that an order or a request?
I believe it was a request.
And you told Mr. Ridley that you didn't know if he was allowed to stay in the property or not. Didn't you?
I said that it was private property and I was waiting for the general manager to make the final decision.
You said you asked Mr. Ridley to stop recording, correct? Let's just.
I did.
Okay. And then I said you asked Mr. Ridley to stop recording. And you asked if you basically you told Mr. Ridley that you asked him if he could step off the property until he could speak to your general manager. Is that correct?
Yes.
So it wasn't your call whether or not Mr. Ridley was allowed to stay on the property.
Well, it wasn't my time. The general manager, there was 2 sections of the convention that was going on, and the general manager was in the restricted area, and I didn't know if he was able to get my message to him. I did call him, but I know that he was in the convention. I was on the other side of the convention, and I was the only manager at that time, so I didn't know if Mr. Luca, the general manager, was going to come out, and if he didn't, then I was going to have to ask him, be the one to ask him to leave.
So you were going to have to be the one asking to leave if Mr. Ridley didn't come out.
I did ask him.
It wasn't your call to ask him to leave, though, it was Mr. Ridley.
It was, but I did say that I was waiting for the general manager as well.
Mr. Ridley, you told Mr. Ridley that you were waiting on orders to decide if you could stay or not, did you not?
I believe so.
In fact, you said to him, quote, Mr. Ridley told you that the residents had a right to exclude him from the property, didn't he?
No, I don't think he did.
You don't recall that?
No. I believe he said that he had a right to be there by it being public property and eminent domain.
You're aware that this was recorded, correct?
Yeah.
Mr. Luca, the manager, did come out and order Mr. Ridley to leave, did he not?
He did.
Did you see him, did you hear him make this order?
I actually walked away when he came out.
So you didn't hear the order?
I saw him raise his hand. I don't remember exactly what he said.
Did you hear what he said at the time?
You're not objecting, he did say yes.
Well, the question is, did she hear, not what did she hear?
Okay.
Did she hear?
I didn't hear him speak.
Do you remember hearing him identify himself? And he was from,
I don't recall.
and Mr. Ridley left, started leaving after Mr. Luca ordered him to leave, did he not?
I was inside at that time.
So you didn't know whether or not Mr. Ridley left after Mr. Luca informed him that he needed to leave?
As soon as Mr. Luca came out, I went right inside.
That's all I have.
Okay, you may step down. Thank you for your testimony.
May she state that, she's going to be meeting with an expert, may she state that?
Is there a sequestration request?
Your Honor, actually, yes, there is a sequestration request.
I'll
I
make
didn't
a double.
make that request, but I'm going to ask it this time.
I'll have to go back and grab my information, I'll be right back.
Thank you.
State calls Tony Luca. Tony, if you can go up here, please. Just stand up and swear in. Stand there and face me and raise your right hand, please. You swear the testimony about to give today is the truth, the whole truth, and none other truth, so do that? Yes. Please be seated. Tony, I'm going to ask you to say your name, spell your last name, and please speak up and we can all hear you. What's being recorded? Go ahead.
Tony Luca, last name is Lucca.
Thank you. Tony, how are you employed?
I'm general manager of the Radisson Nashua.
Okay. And how long have you been general manager at the Radisson?
4 months.
Okay. And as general manager at the Radisson, explain to Joey what your duties are, sir.
I run the overall operation of the Charlie Hotel.
And you have the authority to ask people to leave the property.
Yes.
Is that private property?
Yes.
And it's owned by the Radisson Company?
Yes.
All right. And were you working at the Radisson on May 25th, 2011?
Yes.
In the afternoon? And was there an event going on that day, sir?
Yes.
What was the event?
It was a fundraiser for Joe Biden.
Okay. And at some time just before 6 o'clock, did you receive a call from, do you know who Ellie Woolridge is?
Yes.
Who's Ellie Woolridge?
She's the bank manager.
Did you receive a call from her concerning a problem in the front entrance area?
Yes.
And what was the nature of that problem?
There was a filming and recording of guests coming and going from the hotel.
Okay. Where were you when you get that call?
I was in the meeting room, conference room.
Okay. And did you make your way down towards the front?
Yes.
And as you made your way down to the front, did you observe anything when you got to the front area?
Yes, when I walked outside, yes.
What did you see?
I was a gentleman filming, and I was being filmed as I walked out.
All right.
And
Now,
he asked questions.
if I could ask you, sir, what were you wearing that day?
I was wearing my suit with my name tag and a security thing on me to connect.
And what does that name tag say, sir?
Tony Luca, general manager.
Okay. And how big is that roughly? You can maybe show us.
About 2.5 inches by an inch.
Okay. And when you saw the gentleman out front filming, did you make up your mind whether you wanted to stay or you going to work on the property?
I made up my mind that I needed to leave the property.
And that was based on what you saw in your conversations with Ms. Woolridge?
Yes.
And did you order him to leave the property?
Yes.
What did you say to him?
Sir, I need to leave the property.
Did you identify yourself?
Yes, I did.
Okay. You know this was recorded?
I'm sorry.
You know this was filmed?
Yes.
see the gentleman in court here today, you told.
Yes.
Would you please point him out, describe this one?
Gentleman right over there.
No, that's it, no, just point it out, just give it.
Objection.
Did you also remember what his name was?
I didn't know his name.
Okay, thank you. When you told Mr. Ridley to leave, did he leave the property?
He didn't. He stood there and continued to film me.
You remained on the property? And what did you do after that? What was your next step?
I turned around on the side, and I talked to the police, and I asked them to escort the gentleman off the property.
So you told the police who were working the detail,
Yes.
asked the gentleman to leave the property? And did you see the police go out there?
I saw him start to go out, but then I went back into the building.
Because you had other duties to do?
Yes.
Okay. So at least during that time frame you were there, you never saw Mr. Ridley leave or maybe attempt to leave the property?
No.
And that was after the work?
Yes.
Nothing further?
No.
So you're aware that this, the entire change of Mr. Ridley was reported, correct?
I know about the entire exchange.
And you stated that you've seen the video,
I saw part of it, yes.
and you would agree that nowhere on the video does it ever show you identifying yourself?
I didn't see that, no.
Okay. And yet you say that you did identify yourself.
Yes, I did.
Oh, you were outside for, what, 5 to 10 seconds, would that be fair to say?
I'd say about 15.
About 15 seconds. Mr. Ridley asked you who you were.
I don't recall it.
You don't know who you are? And what did you do after you asked him to leave?
I went back inside.
You back a second.
I talked to the police and asked them to escort the gentleman.
So you didn't see whether or not he was.
No.
But you just stated in your record that he didn't leave.
When I was talking to him, he didn't leave. I asked him to leave the property, he remained there. And that's when I turned around and asked the police to escort him off the property.
How long did he remain when you were talking to him?
How long he remained there, and then I turned around and walked away from him.
So you didn't see if he left after you turned around?
No.
Thank you.
Let me step next. Thank you. Next witness, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Roy. You guys also, thank you. The state calls Lieutenant Ray McDaniel to the stand. Lieutenant, you want to prepare a minute or so yet? Good afternoon, Your Honor. So you swear the testimony about the today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Please be seated. Please state your name, spell your last name for the record. Please speak up so we can hear you.
My name is Raymond McDaniel. My last name is spelled McDannell.
How are you employed, sir?
I'm employed with the City of Nashua, the Nashua Police Department,
And how long have you been employed there?
22.5 years.
And you were a lieutenant?
I am a lieutenant, yes.
And on May 25th, 2011, were you employed for the Nashua Police Department?
Yes, I was.
And were you working that evening down at 11 Park Boulevard?
Yes, I was.
Was that were you assigned there, or was it a private detail or thing?
For me, I was assigned because it's during my regular shift.
Okay. And what was the nature of that detail? I'm sorry.
It was the visit by the Vice President of the United States.
And what were you tasked to do that evening? What was your primary function?
Well, the National Police Department was working in conjunction with the Secret Service for security on the premises, as well as from the airport that he flew into the premises, and I was overseeing the task of the National Police Department.
Okay. So at some point around 5:45 in the evening, did something happen that came to your attention happening outside the front entrance?
Yes.
What And the idea, okay, you're being videotaped, but you hadn't reported that at this time.
No, we did not.
And you were just walking into the hotel?
From the parking lot area. I was just going to walk through the parking lot, yes.
And that had nothing to do with that videotape?
Yes.
So you get into the hotel.
Yes.
What happened when you get inside the hotel?
I was speaking with a Secret Service agent and at the time Sergeant Linehan, now Lieutenant, about a subject who was going to be asked to leave the premises.
And who came in to ask you folks to have them leave?
The general manager.
Tony?
Yes.
The gentleman you secretary with?
That is correct.
All right. So, it was decided to go out to ask this gentleman to leave.
That's correct.
And who went outside?
I went outside and then Lieutenant Linehan came outside with Detective Anderson, and ultimately there was a Secret Service agent outside also.
Okay. And did you approach, first of all, do you see the subject here in court today was when they videotaped?
I do.
And was he videotaping you as you came out?
Yes.
Okay. Can you bring him on, please? This
He's at the defense table in the shirt. No.
And he was ultimately arrested that day, right?
That's correct.
And do you know who he is?
Yes.
Who is he?
I'm not going to pronounce his last name right. I think it's
David Ridley.
Yes.
So did you personally approach Mr. Ridley?
When I came outside, I had contact with him, yes.
And do you recall what you said to him?
Yes, I do. I had asked him to step across the hotel roadway right there where guests pull up,
Okay.
and he was ultimately going to be asked to leave.
All right. And did you do this all in one sentence, or was it kind of broken up?
Well, I asked him to stand at a certain place, and you're going to be asked to leave. So there's a little hesitation between the two.
And was he talking to you at the same time?
Yes.
Did you call what he said to you?
I think he was asking where to stand exactly.
And why did you ask him to stand right there if you're going to be asked to leave?
Well, this was a very important time for the detail because guests were arriving, invited guests, and that is right where they pull up to enter the hotel, the guests to see the vice president.
And did you know specifically who was going to be tasked with asking him to leave?
Yes.
Who was that?
It would be at the time Sergeant Linehan, because his task was the hotel security.
So did you decide now Lieutenant's going to ask him to leave?
Well, he happened to be right there, but it would be him or his men that was assigned to him.
Okay. So after you said that to Mr. Ridley, did he leave?
No.
Okay. After you had your conversation, who came out saying what happened next, I should say?
Sergeant Linehan.
So you can't leave and do other activities at the same time?
Me personally, I can't do that myself, and thanks for that. But he was not leaving.
You just said that you didn't know if he was moving or standing still. Is that correct?
Where he was at that particular time across the roadway, correct.
So how do you know if he was
But
leaving?
moving would be a couple steps at a time. He had no plans on pulling his keys out, going to his car, I'm out of here.
Are you minded?
He was making that quite clear with his actions.
Well, I mean, it's tag on that. The point is, the witness can't testify to the intent of the stand on those horses. But it wasn't documented. Very careful.
You don't know what Mr. Ridley's intentions were, do you?
I didn't speak to him about his intentions.
Do you know that you don't know what his intentions were?
No.
When Mr. Luca came out of the hotel and spoke to Mr. Ridley, he was standing in front of the hotel door, correct?
That is correct.
And by the time you got outside, he was across the street.
Yes, but that's approximately maybe 15, 20 feet.
So that's farther away from the hotel than he was when Mr. Luca was talking to him.
That's correct.
And you came outside the hotel and Mr. Luca went back inside. It was only, what, 10 seconds?
It's going to be more than 10 seconds. I had dialogue with the Secret Service agent and Sergeant.
20 seconds.
Oh, I don't recall.
You ordered Mr. Ridley to remain on the property.
Exactly the quotes I stated to our attorney there was stand over there, knowing that Sergeant Lennon was going to come out and take over.
So you asked him to stand over there, meaning on the hotel property.
Pardon?
Meaning on the hotel property.
That's
Over
correct.
there was on the hotel
That's
property.
correct.
So you asked him, you ordered him to remain on the property.
I ordered him, he would be on the property where I told him to stand. That is correct.
Following that, you said, quote, you're going to be asked to leave. Correct. That statement implies that he hasn't been asked to leave, doesn't it?
Your Honor, object.
It's his station, right?
He asked the questions. I don't know if he asked the question. The question was, did he ask the question? So I don't know.
Could you repeat the question?
Your question implies, stating you're going to be asked to leave implies that you have, Mr. Ridley had been asked to leave, doesn't it?
Well, I wasn't making an implication when I stated that.
Mr. Ridley continued to leave after that statement, didn't he?
He was being ordered to leave and was walking through the parking lot.
And the parking lot is where his car was, correct?
I'm not familiar where his car was.
So I think Scott was able to walk towards him.
I don't know where his car was. I just know he's videotaped him walking through the parking lot.
I'll bring it back videotape, but I'm asking about whether he's leaving. You don't know whether or not he was walking towards his car, do you?
I don't know that he was leaving.
You don't know whether or not he was walking towards his car, do you?
No, I don't know what car he was driving.
So he could have been walking towards his car.
That's a big parking lot. It's possible.
So it's possible he could have been walking towards his car.
It's possible.
That contradicts your earlier statement that he wasn't leaving, doesn't it?
When he was in the parking lot and walking, it's possible he could have been walking towards his car. But when he's up near the doors, no, I would say he was not leaving.
But by the time he got outside, he was walking into the parking lot. That's your testimony, correct?
I said he was across the roadway area where the gas marks will arrive, in that area right there.
And then I asked you, after you told him he was going to be asked to leave, I asked you whether or not he continued in the parking lot. Did he?
When he was ordered to by Sergeant Lennon, yes.
So he did continue in the parking lot.
Yeah, ordered to by Sergeant Lennon, that's correct.
And could have been walking towards his car.
Guess it's possible, I don't know where he was parked.
He was walking deeper into the parking lot, correct?
That's correct.
And as you said, it was a very large parking lot.
Very large.
Full of cars?
I think it might have been, there were good.
So he's walking deeper into a parking lot, a large parking lot with lots of cars. Any one of those could have been his.
I think you've established that he could have been walking his car. I think you've established that he could have been walking his car. That's the fifth time you've asked that, so I'm going to actually move on. Thanks, Doug.
Okay, that's one of the items. How long have you been a police officer in Nashua?
Over 17 years.
All right, and what is your current position, sir?
I am currently a lieutenant at the Nashua Police Department, assigned to third shift patrol.
All right. If you take you back to the date of May 25th, 2011, were you working that day?
Yes, I was.
And what were you doing that day?
My assignment that day was to provide security at the Radisson Hotel as a result of a visit by Vice President Joe Biden. So I was responsible for overseeing the number of national police officers that were assigned to the Radisson.
And what is the purpose of having the officers assigned to the Radisson during the Vice President's meeting?
We provide security as a way to assist the Secret Service anytime the Vice President comes to town, or the President for that matter. It's fairly common for us to provide a uniform presence in order to assist with security.
Okay. And during that, not as confused thing, at that time you were sergeant command, right?
Yes, I was.
Okay, so you were working in uniform that evening?
That evening I was, yes.
Okay. And about a little before 6 o'clock, did you have contact with a gentleman named Tony Luca?
Yes, I did.
Who's Tony Luca?
Tony Luca is one of the managers down at the Radisson Hotel.
And what did Tony have a conversation with you?
Yes, he did.
Was it about a person that was concerned about out front was doing something?
Yes.
And what did Tony ask you?
Tony asked me if I could escort the gentleman from the front of the premises off the property.
Did he tell you he needed the word to leave already?
Yes, he did.
And did you see the gentleman? Did you see Mr. Luca interact with the gentleman?
Yes, I did.
After Mr. Luca interacted with him, did you see the gentleman leave?
No.
Do you see that gentleman in court today?
Yes, I do.
Please come and describe what he's wearing.
He's sitting there at the defense table. He's wearing a button-down shirt. It's checkered in nature. He's wearing glasses.
Okay, and ultimately you arrested the gentleman.
Yes, I did.
Do you know who he is?
I do now, yes.
Who is he?
David Ridley.
You didn't know him at the time.
No.
So you see Mr. Luca dealing with Mr. Ridley, and then Mr. Luca comes back in and tells you he wants him off the property.
That's correct.
But in that interim, you didn't see Mr. Ridley make the attempt to leave.
No, I didn't.
Did you see was Mr. Ridley doing anything when you looked out there?
I had just seen him out front interacting with Mr. Luca. I didn't see anything specifically that he was doing at that time, no.
Okay. But when Mr. Luca told you to ask him to leave, what did you do?
At that time, I began to walk to the area where Mr. Ridley was standing, and it was at that point that outside the front lobby area of the Radisson, I made contact with him.
Okay. And when you made contact with him, did you have a conversation?
I asked Mr. Ridley to leave the property, that he wasn't welcome on the property, and he was to leave.
Okay. And do you recall did he say anything back to you? Do you recall what he said?
At that time, no.
Did he leave?
He began to walk backwards away from the front lobby.
And was he videotaping at this time?
Yes, he was.
So he was walking backwards, videotaping? Yes.
He was moving away from the front of the hotel in a very slow manner, backwards, while videotaping, yes.
And was he having a conversation with you?
Not at that time, no.
And what did you do at that time?
At that time, he continued to walk very slowly backwards, away from the front of the building. He proceeded to an area where there are some stairs that lead down further deeper into the parking lot. At that time, I stood there at the top, in the top portion of the hotel, and just watched to see if Mr. Ridley was going to make an attempt to actually leave the property.
Okay. Now, during this time, were you giving him repeated orders?
I had asked did have a vehicle where it was parked, and he made no attempt to go toward an exit, any of the exits that were situated there within the parking lot.
Did he make his way towards any vehicle?
No.
And did you repeatedly ask him where his vehicle was?
Yes, I did.
And at some point you just started asking him what his name was?
Yes, I did.
What was the purpose of that?
The purpose for his name was, there was a couple reasons. One was for the trespass portion, the hotel had asked that he be removed from the property, and it's a standard procedure within the Nashua Police Department where we get somebody's name and date of birth, and we have it documented for our records. In the event that we get further calls pertaining to that individual, we now have a record of that person being at a particular location at a particular time. The second reason I was asking for his name and date of birth was to actually see if I could do a query to see if he actually did have a vehicle registered to him, to see if there was one possibly parked there in the lot.
And you provided his name?
No, he didn't.
So you weren't able to figure out, and you didn't know what it was?
No, I didn't.
Did he have any keys in his hand?
I don't remember any keys in his hand, no.
Did he ever turn around at any point during the conversation and start going towards some vehicle?
No, he didn't.
Did he keep engaging you in a conversation?
I would call it a conversation. I would ask him if he had a card. He'd ask me if he had to answer that question. I'd ask him for his name. He'd ask me my name. That was basically the nature of our interaction.
Did he ever pick up his pace?
No.
Did he ever put the camera down in an attempt to make you think he was leaving?
No, he didn't.
And at some point, did this frustrate you? You were trying to get him to leave?
Well, the whole issue was frustrating because it was taking away manpower from the security detail that we were supposed to be providing for the vice president. And it was frustrating, yes, very frustrating.
How long did this go on for, you say, and you kept asking him to leave?
For my contact until the time that he was arrested, I would say it went for at least 5-7 minutes.
So at some point you made a decision?
Yes, I did.
And what was that decision?
The decision was to place him under arrest
And why was that?
because he was making no attempt to leave the property, and as a result, the problem had to be dealt with, and as a result of him committing this offense, he was placed under arrest for criminal trespass.
He was placed in custody and it was...
That's correct.
Well, gentlemen, after the hotel manager, Tony Luca, came back inside, you went outside, correct?
Yes, I did.
Mr. Luca was already in the building by the time he came outside, correct?
No, I wasn't.
Where was he when he came outside?
He was a few feet from the front of the building.
Would it surprise you if I told you that Lieutenant McDaniel testified differently?
I don't know what he testified to. It wouldn't surprise me.
How long did Mr. Luca talk to you?
It was probably maybe up to 10 seconds, 10, 12 seconds.
Do you know if Mr. Luca identified himself as Mr. Luca?
I do not.
Let's talk about what happened after Mr. Luca went back inside. You and Sergeant Monahan and Lieutenant McDaniel came outside. I'm sorry, you and Mark Anderson and Lieutenant McDaniel came outside, correct?
At that point, Lieutenant McDaniel was actually walking into the hotel, as Mr. Luca was walking into the hotel. And I was in the front lobby area, and as Mr. Luca was walking into basically the main front lobby area of the hotel, that's when he made contact with me. Lieutenant McDaniel was basically walking in with him at that time. It was at that point that Mr. Luca had asked me to respond outside. And Mark Anderson, who was assigned as a plainclothes detective with the U.S. Secret Service, he also went outside to make contact with Mr. Ridley.
Lieutenant McDaniel ordered Mr. Ridley to stay on the property, didn't he?
He didn't order him to, no.
He ordered him to stand over there, correct?
I wouldn't call that an order.
What did you tell him?
He said you can stay over there. It's a suggestion.
So if a person says, in those terms, you would consider that a suggestion?
You are an object. I don't think this person here knows what McDaniel's intent was by his words. He's already testified. You can take that for his word.
I didn't ask him if it was a suggestion. I asked him if it was Sergeant Monahan or Lieutenant Monahan decided to
deeper into the parking lot.
Cars are in the parking lot, right?
Yes.
What are those good minutes?
I'm sorry,
What are those good minutes?
could have been.
So, you don't know whether or not he's in it.
I don't.
But your report does indicate that he walked away from you into the parking lot when you asked or concluded.
Yes,
So he was, or could have been leaving at that point.
he was not leaving.
You just said that the car was full of parking. The parking lot was full of cars, yes?
Yes, it was.
Any one of them could have been his.
Any one of them.
And he was
Except
walking
under the.
He was walking deeper in the parking lot.
Yes, he was.
And yet you say that he wasn't leaving.
That's correct.
Now, as Mr. Ridley is walking deeper into the parking lot, at first you don't arrest him, correct?
That's correct.
You didn't arrest him because he could have been walking towards his car, correct?
I'm not quite sure, I don't even understand the question.
I'm not sure why they're doing that.
Sure. I'm asking, this is offered proof, so you can go on with the objection. I'm asking him, Lieutenant Lanahan said he didn't arrest Mr. Ridley at first, as Mr. Ridley was walking in the parking lot. I'm asking, is that because he could have been walking towards his car? That was his.
You understand the question?
Yes, I do, Your Honor. Thank you.
Oh,
That is not why I didn't arrest him at that time, no.
You say in your report that Mr. Ridley refused to tell you if he had a vehicle.
That's correct.
That's not true, was it?
It is true.
You're right, this man reported.
Yes, I am.
Were you not Mr. Ridley told you you had a vehicle and not you?
That's what he said.
So Mr. Ridley did tell you you had a vehicle?
Yes, he did.
I thought you just said he told you you did. He did tell you if you had a vehicle.
You asked me if he had a car. And what I
No,
know,
I said a vehicle.
vehicle or car.
So you made two statements, which one was true?
It would be the one in which he says he's walking to his car at one point, yes.
So he did tell you you had a vehicle.
Yes.
So your report that says he didn't tell you whether or not he had a vehicle is incorrect.
That is in regards to a direct statement in which I asked him where his car is parked and if he has a vehicle.
You never asked him if he had a vehicle.
I'm sorry?
You never asked him if he had a vehicle.
I asked him where his car was parked several times.
And you say that he was walking towards his car, you know?
He did say that, yes.
Let's talk about the seconds leading up to Mr. Ridley's arrest. You and Detective Anderson were following Mr. Ridley as he walked, correct?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
You and Detective Anderson were following Mr. Ridley as he walked, correct?
At one point we did, yes, but not continuously.
You were moving forward
Yes.
at a normal pace?
I believe so, yes.
And you were keeping an equal distance from him the other side?
Well, there was quite a bit of distance between he and I when we began to go from that top lot to where he was situated in that third lot. So I would take a normal pace. I didn't run, I didn't jog in order to catch up to him.
You said this event lasted 5 to 7 minutes.
From start to finish, that's what I would estimate.
And you said that he had, quote, quite a bit of distance by the time that you decided to start following him.
Right.
So he had made quite a bit of progress by the time you were in the lead.
I don't consider it so, no.
You told Mr. Ridley after you started following, you told him to, quote, keep moving, correct?
Yes.
You don't tell somebody about the arrest to keep moving, do you?
I didn't want to arrest him.
You weren't going to arrest him at the point you gave the order to keep moving.
No.
But you arrested him 30 seconds later. Why?
He was showing he was moving deeper into the parking lot. He was refusing to provide me with any sort of explanation, and he was actually
time, please try not to ask them 3 or 4 times. So,
Yes, sir.
thank you.
And it was about 30 seconds from the time you told me to keep moving to the time you arrested, correct?
If you're telling me 30, that's fine, I'll agree with that.
So, something happened during the 30 seconds between the time you changed your mind and what you arrested, correct?
No,
Nothing happened?
not that I can recall.
You asked Mr. Ridley his name 9 times, correct?
I believe so, yes.
During that time.
Yes,
Mr. Ridley responded, asking whether or not he was required to answer that question,
yes.
and didn't answer the question.
No, we didn't.
This means you're angry.
But honestly, not any angrier than I already was.
So it was only after he refused to leave his name you arrested him.
That's not true.
Let's talk about what happened after Mr. Ridley's arrest.
Well, you don't object to that. Once he's under arrest for the traffic and trespass, what's the problem?
Objections based on relevancy. What's the relevance?
I believe the department located his car and wasn't parking lot.
Mr. Owens, he's already placed under arrest, you can
Oh, no. One of the issues here is whether or not he's owning his vehicle. If it was a vehicle in the lot, I think that's wrong.
The department eventually located Mr. Ridley's vehicle. Didn't it?
Yes,
It was in the parking lot with us.
yes, it was.
Do you know where it was located?
It was located in the level in which Mr. Ridley was placed under arrest.
So he was located in his vehicle.
Yes, he was.
No further questions.
Can you step down?
Thank you.
But let's see, you say that for the witnesses. Defense counsel provided a videotape of this event taken by the defendant. I viewed it, I don't know how often it is or not, but I think we both decided that we don't mind showing it. Like to show you want to show it right now.
Yeah, I would stipulate to it being fair and accurate and have no problem with it being entered into evidence, especially considering that I think it shows some of the things that were said today by the witnesses are incorrect.
How long is it?
It's probably about 10 minutes.
It's about 10 minutes long.
Just as an offer of proof, the initial part of the video shows the first witness in the hotel, the second, and it's quite a long lag time. We talked about maybe speaking through that.
Yeah, as an offer of proof, Your Honor, the first 7 minutes and 30 seconds of the video are Mr. Ridley's interaction with Elliot Woolridge. At first, I wasn't sure whether the court needed to see this video. However, after Ms. Woolridge testified that she gave him a direct order, he said he didn't have to leave, he had a right to be there, and other things that the video will show to be false. I feel that the entire 7 minutes and 30 seconds need to be watched in full context of the fact that Mr. Ridley did not believe that he was required to leave and would have left if he thought he was required to. Following that, there's about 3 minutes from where Mr. Luca comes out, doesn't identify himself. Mr. Ridley, I'm assuming is Mr. Luca doesn't identify himself. Lieutenant McDaniel then comes out, tells him to stand over there. Sergeant Linehan tells him to leave. He's leaving. During this, you can actually see the scene moving by. And then you see the officers come and have the interaction that Sergeant Linehan and I just discussed before he's placed under arrest.
Is that what the video shows?
Pretty much.
Why do I need to see it?
Your Honor, you do need to see it. The reason being is because, as I said, the testimony of Ellie Woolridge is contradicted 110% by the video regarding the fact that she says she gave him a direct order to leave, and Mr. Ridley refused to leave and said that he had a right to remain. It's the exact opposite. Mr. Ridley actually said, "You have the right to tell me not to leave," and he actually asked for clarification. Do I need? Sorry. Yes, Mr. Ridley says on the video, "You have the right to tell me to leave," and indicates that he will. He's just waiting to make sure that what his orders are. And Ms. Woolridge actually says, "I'm not sure. I need to wait for the general manager to decide whether you can stay or not."
Well, in response to your questions, Ms. Woolridge stated that she gave a request to leave, and I don't think I note here nothing that suggests that she ordered him to leave.
Well, whether if Your Honor would like to make a ruling of law whether or not a request satisfies the statute, if a request doesn't satisfy the statute, I will waive watching the first 7 minutes and 30 seconds.
Are you suggesting that she didn't make a request for him to leave, or are you suggesting she didn't make an order.
The reason I think Your Honor needs to watch the video is because, in answer to
Don't
your
watch
question.
the video.
I'm just stuck in this thing, get it stuck.
Gentlemen, this is the third time. You guys want to have a conversation, I don't mind, but you got to take it out in the hall. You can't have a conversation during the course of proceedings, okay?
You guys.
You understand me, gentlemen?
I
Thank you.
haven't said a word.
All right, put the camera down. Continue on your recording.
So yeah, looks like 3 Nashua police, 1 Secret Service guy, I think. Or either that, he could be plain clothes in PD or even he's staying out on wages. Plain clothes with badge. This is right a little bit of narration while there's nothing to see or while the site seems to keep on looking the same. Still following 18. Am I required, you just said I wasn't required to answer that. Why is that? Well, as you can see, I was empty leave. Where's your car parked? But you already asked me that. We're not making an act of attempt to go to your vehicle. How do you know? Give me your name. You give me my vehicle. My vehicle, is that going to be disproven? I need your name and I need your date of birth. Why do you need it? And am I required legally to give it to you? You are, because you are trespassing. Who are you? Who are you? Okay, so it's Nashua Police Department. Did I have your name and badge number? Detective Anderson. Okay, thanks, Detective Anderson. I appreciate that. And your name and badge number, sir? Sorry, I appreciate that. Keep moving right now. Okay, continue, I said. Keep moving. The name and your name for a day. Trespass. I'm trying to leave. Name, still trespassing. What's your name? What's your name? Name. Name. Name and birth, sir. Name. Name and birth. You're under arrest. Okay.
Stay rest, okay?
At this time, I'd like to make a motion for judgment on appeal.
Are you doing this close of the state's case, or are you resting as well?
Close of the state's case, Your Honor, I will be putting on Mr. Ridley on the stand as evidence. The video, I think, clearly showed that Ms. Woolridge, as she said, asked him to leave. When Mr.
Actually, she
Ridley,
said you have to step off the property, pull it.
I believe she said, if you could just step off the property.
Step off the property. I believe when Mr. Luca came out, the client said he wanted to leave, and Mr. Luca said, yep.
Right, and at the point that, and Mr. Ridley said very clearly to Ms. Woolridge, you have a right to make sure that I'm not on this property. And Ms. Woolridge said, right, we're just waiting. She said she was just waiting to see if the general manager has a problem with you being on the property or something to that effect, which indicates that they were waiting for an order, not that he'd already received one. I think it's very clear that there's no way that he knowingly defied an order when the order was contradictory. She originally said, if you could just step off the property. And when she
said, do you want to leave? The manager said, yep,
Yes,
go on.
absolutely.
So that's
What we don't have evidence on is, what I was saying is that Mr. Ridley didn't know who that person was, but Mr. Ridley hasn't testified yet, so. Point is, Mr. Luca didn't have the opportunity to identify himself. Mr. Ridley still erred on the side of caution and said, okay, I don't know who this person is, but he left anyway. And he continued to leave until he got to his car, to the area where Lieutenant Lenahan admitted was was very close to his vehicle. So he made his way to his vehicle. He did give his name. That's not a crime. So I believe the evidence is clear that Mr. Ridley, upon the first time of being given a clear order to leave, did so. And therefore, I would ask that the charges be dismissed.
At this stage of the proceedings, the standard that the court must apply is looking at the evidence in the light most favorable to the state. And based upon the evidence, viewing that light at this time, the motion is denied. Do you have any evidence you'd like to present?
Sure, I'd like to call Mr. Ridley. Actually, before I do that, Your Honor, I would ask that the video be entered into evidence.
We'll get it out.
Okay.
Yes, well, I mean, it's admitted evidence, I'll also
I'll make it, Your Honor.
reject the disc after the trial.
Thank you, Your Honor. Would it be possible for me to get a hold of Defense Exhibits 1 and 2? And also, I would call Dave Ridley to stand.
Since I'll give you each your cover letter and the exhibits.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, I'm going to hand these to the clerk to be marked. So if you could stand next to the witness table and raise your right hand. You affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. And you have a seat. State your full name and spell your last name for the record.
It's David Ridley, R-I-D-L-E-Y.
So Ridley, when did you start your, let's talk a little bit about your career as a reporter. When did you start your career as a reporter?
1988, unless you count college stuff.
Who did you work for in 1988?
KLMG TV, CBS affiliate in Longview, Texas.
What did you do for
Got a
that?
different name now. I was what they call a videographer reporter, so I would shoot video and record.
How long did you work for them?
About a year, a little less.
What did you do after that?
Or for another station in the same market, Channel 56.
What did you do for them?
It's just a videographer.
Videographer. How long did you work for them?
2 years.
No.
Channel 3 in Wichita, 4 years, videographer.
Continue.
Then I worked at Channel 8 in Dallas for 6 months. And at Channel, it's a little bit complicated after that. I was a freelancer after that, but most of my freelance work was working for Channel 4, which is the Fox affiliate in Dallas. That was for 6 years. That takes us up to 2004.
Did you ever do any overseas reporting?
Yes, I was in Bosnia twice. It was a little bit complicated as to who I was working for, different people each time.
Are you still work as a reporter?
Yes.
And how would you describe your work as a reporter at this present time?
I guess you can best describe it as an independent journalist.
Who were you self-employed on May 25th, 2001?
Pardon?
And were you working as an independent journalist on May 25th, 2001?
Yes.
And why were you interested on May 25th?
Wanted to videotape the big wigs coming and going. The vice president's going to be there. I'm not going to get a video of him, but the governor might be there. I might get a chance to interview him. I did, in fact, get a chance to interview Representative Bowes and former Representative Bowes and Sitting Senator Alessandro.
Or you say, I'm sorry. Is it fair to say that as a reporter, you place high value on First Amendment?
Yes.
Is it fair to say you place high value on public rights and balance? Now, let's talk a bit about your views on private property, even given that role is in that.
With due respect,
Yes, Your Honor.
what his views of private property are really the issue before the court. The issue before the court is whether or not, by legal statement, this is private property, and whether or not he was legitimately asked Those are the issues before the court. His views with regard to private property, as I said before, we expect to have really not the issue before this court.
My question was going to be, Your Honor, and I will, if I could, as up back for proof, was whether or not he would remain on private property even if he wasn't wrong. Objective.
Why don't you ask that question?
I will, Your Honor. Thank you. Mr. Ridley, would you ever remain on private property if you weren't wrong?
In the absence of an emergency, no.
You didn't give him your strong support for the First Amendment clause, right? You know, you still learn that?
Correct.
Why not?
Well, I think private property rights trump the First Amendment. I agree with that principle. My right to be on a property and ask questions is trumped by the fact that they own the property.
So, if you were asked to leave Madison, do you believe that it's your obligation to do so? Is that fair? That was the view of my politician. If you were asked to leave, what would you be your obligation as a pledge of rights?
To leave.
Do you remember getting an order to leave?
Yes.
And at the time that you received that, who gave that order? Do you know now who gave that order?
I guess it was Mr. Luke. I didn't know at the time.
So you didn't know who it was at the time?
Correct.
Did you know that he was the hotel manager at the time? Did you want to know?
Yes.
Why?
I guess as a reporter, you know, who, what, where, when, why, how, and the obvious question at that point was who. So,
Did you ask who it was?
yes.
Did you get an answer?
No.
What did you do then?
I started leaving.
Why did you leave at that point?
Just err on the side of caution.
Sorry, no. Let's talk a little bit about what happened after you started to leave. Did someone come outside after you started to leave?
Yes, almost immediately.
Who was that?
Nashua police officers. Although I thought one of them might be Secret Service at the time.
What did they say to you then?
Well, one of them said something along the lines of stand on the other side of the driveway. I'm not really not the exact words, but he wanted me to stand on the other side and was indicating the driveway, but he wanted me to stand on the other side of.
Were you confused at this point?
Yes.
Did you continue to leave?
I continued back out away from the front door and door my car.
So you were continuing to leave? Would that be a fair way to say?
Correct.
Now, some of the officers took issue earlier with how you left. Were you walking backwards?
Yes.
Why?
That's what videographers do. If someone's walking toward you and they're the story, then you aim the camera at them and walk backwards. You can't film someone walking toward you if you're walking in the same direction. You can't spin the camera aiming over your shoulder very well. It doesn't work that way.
And
You have to be walking backwards. You see reporters walking backwards all the time. It's normal in courts, of course. When the perp comes out, you walk backwards in front of the perp. That kind of thing.
So, in your work as a videographer, what percentage of your walking as a videographer was done that way?
What percentage of my walking as a videographer?
As a videographer, you walk backwards on line, is that correct?
Yes.
And so you're accustomed to walking backwards while you videotape?
Correct.
And you're able to, with this practice, you've been able to walk at a reasonable pace while you walk backwards?
I am able to do that, yes.
What happens to the video if you start to walk, if you turn around, walk the other way?
Well, it would be very difficult to videotape these officers who have become suddenly the most interesting thing going on there. It would be very difficult for me to walk in the same direction as them, facing the same direction, and film them over my shoulder while I can't. It would just be very difficult to look right. I'd be filming my own face, basically.
In any case, you were leaving. But in any case, were you leaving?
Yes.
Did you walk through the car?
Yes.
And if I could approach you, please.
Yeah.
Typically, this car was parked, he came out ready, eventually his car was towed. He usually drove with, he didn't know where it was. Eventually his car was on the way.
So is that what you introduced in these photographs to establish his vehicles and parking lot?
They are not that his vehicle was in the parking lot, the path that he took to his vehicle. And of course, it's true, right, that the officers didn't know where his vehicle was at the time, but of course, the standard that you have to apply is based on all the evidence, not just the rest of the time.
I just didn't know why you were trying to introduce the evidence. Now,
Yeah, may I just, oh, yes, I'm sorry, well, I just want to see this. Wait, sure, I just want to, I don't know if it's coming.
Survey on hand, you was marked, I believe, as the one. Do you recognize that?
This appears to be the Radisson on Terra in South Nashua.
And do you see the parking lot there?
Yes.
Could you use the blue pen, please, and trace your path that you walked to the best of your recollection from the front of the Radisson to the west of the Radisson?
This is my best estimate. It's not going to be down to the meter. Okay, that's my path up to the point where I was arrested.
Do you mark the X, the place that you were arrested?
Roughly here, again, it's not the meter.
Could you mark the circle where your vehicle was to the best of your recollection?
I believe the vehicle is roughly here.
How many spaces from your vehicle before you were under arrest?
I think I'm estimating it was 5 to 10.
And during this path, how long did it take you to walk from your beginning point to the point of arrest?
Between 2.5 and 4 minutes.
I'm going to send this back to the court. Is there any other evidence unless? Well, look at that.
I have no worries.
Hey, you can step down. Oh, thank you. Any further evidence?
No further evidence, Your Honor. Just a brief
Rest?
arrested.
Just a second. Thank you, Bob.
I don't.
Okay. You wish to be heard?
Your Honor, the issues in the statute are, of course, whether Mr. Ridley knowingly remaining on part of the property and gives a clear order to leave from someone in court. We've heard testimony, first of all, up until the point that Mr. Luger came out, he did not receive a clear order to leave. Ms. Woolridge called it a request. Video clearly shows that her central word is a request. She then stated that he could stay while she checked with the manager. Mr. Ridley waited until the manager did come out. Mr. Luger gave a clear order to leave. Now, even though Mr. Luger didn't identify himself, Mr. Ridley wasn't quite sure who he was. He still erred on the side of caution and left the premises, just to be sure that he didn't trespass on the premises. Mr. Ridley didn't remain on the premises. He started leaving immediately, and he continued to leave up to the point of his arrest, which Lieutenant Lenahan admitted was very close to his car. Mr. Ridley testified to stop Lieutenant parking spaces away from his car. Now, I can understand that Mr. Ridley didn't say where his car was, he didn't give his name. The officers testified that this was concerning to them, but however, that's not relevant to the issue at hand, which is, was he remaining on the premises? I would submit, Your Honor, that as a matter of law, you can't remain on premises when you're leaving. Mr. Ridley wasn't.
Is there ever a requirement that you leave within a certain time?
I'm sorry, Your Honor?
Is there a requirement that you leave within a certain time? So let's say, for instance, and obviously we don't have the facts of the case, but for purposes of fleshing this issue up, let's assume that Mr. Ridley was taking a step every 10 minutes, but he was moving toward his vehicle. Would that be criminal trespass?
I believe it would be, Your Honor. I think that the word remain, obviously, as the Supreme Court of New Hampshire said, of course, we're not required to read the one language of statutes absurdly. So if you give a common understanding, remain, if he was taking a step every 10 minutes, that would be remaining on property by any average person's definition of the word remain. But Mr. Ridley did do that, of course. He left. Now, he left backwards because, you know, as he testified, he works with videographer, this is the way that he does business. But he did so at a reasonable pace. Mr. Ridley said it took 2 to 4 minutes to get to his car. Lieutenant Lenihan said it took 5 to 7 minutes. As you can see from Defense Exhibit 1, it's a very large parking lot. It has levels and stairs.
Very familiar.
Excellent, Your Honor. So, 2 to 4 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes, I would submit that that's a reasonable amount of time to leave it. It's a reasonable pace. I think it's clear, Your Honor, that
Well, the video itself, I suggest it wasn't 5 to 7 minutes, it was less than that.
that's possible, Your Honor.
That video, your insistence, clearly was less time Lieutenant Lenihan started golfing. Mr. Ridley was less than 5 to 7 minutes.
I would submit to the court, Your Honor, that the reason Mr. Ridley was not arrested is because the officers were, this is of course argument, the officers were concerned about the Vice President's safety. Mr. Ridley didn't give his name. They didn't know who he was. They didn't know. They couldn't be sure of his reason for being there, and therefore arrested him in order to obtain his identity. It's my belief that if he had given his name, he would not have been arrested, and I think that's substantiated by the video. However, it's not a crime to refuse to give your name in the state of New Hampshire, and therefore I would argue that the court has to rule on guilt.
I think that was the statute, without the main department.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's assume for the moment that I would conclude that the order to leave the premises was issued by the Nashua District Court. Definitely. Let's assume that I find that's the moment when he was required to leave. Would you disagree that he was moving?
Your Honor, I would show you that when he was arrested, he was still remaining on that property.
But you would agree that during that entire video, he was moving apparently based on this map. He was moving in the direction of his own.
I would agree, Your Honor, but how would the officers ever know that he's leaving unless they can identify where he's going? They ask him to
So
do
is
this.
it your position that he had an affirmative obligation to tell them where he was going?
He had an affirmative obligation to remain the premises. All the officers, all the officers saw was a man walking backwards away slowly, but remaining on the premises. They tried to figure out what he was doing, but they couldn't at some point in time know what he said. We asked the question, would one step every 10 minutes be trespassing?
But this wasn't one step.
It wasn't one step every 10 minutes, it's the same philosophy. You frustrate by allowing the defendant to pick and choose how fast or how slow he's going to leave. You frustrate the purpose of the statute. The purpose of the statute is to get the person off the property.
Let me ask a question I asked him. Is there a time period that's reasonable for him to get from the front of that building to his vehicle? I mean, obviously, we can't charge him, we can't convict him of criminal trespass if he's instantaneously in his car out the door. We know that.
Right, so
But if the vehicle is, my recollection is correct, at least one, maybe 2 sets of stairs down a terrace parking lot. What's a reasonable amount of time to get from there to there?
a reasonable amount of time to be easy. A reasonable person would be to turn around, walk away, get in their car, and that's not being decided. And whatever time it would take to get there. And it certainly wasn't walking backwards slowly, as you saw displayed on that video. That's not what a reasonable person would do. So again,
Would you agree with me that at most, from the time Lenihan approaches until they arrest is 4 minutes?
that's approximately right.
So do you think 4 minutes is enough? If he's asked to leave, and clearly from the video, he is in the process of putting distance between himself and the building, recognizing the premise still includes the parking, and moving toward a vehicle, which apparently he was within, looks like 5 car spaces.
I do think it's unreasonable. But I back up to, he's already been asked to leave once, to step off the property by the assistant manager. He doesn't remain.
Well, you wouldn't disagree based on the videotape that after she said that, she certainly said some other things that suggest that he wasn't being moved. Certainly Mr. Lucas' testimony is best questionable. He testified, he clearly told Luke, that he was required to leave and who he was. That video clearly shows he didn't do it. Do you agree with that, right?
The video shows comes out. He says, "Your father, yes. You want to leave? Yes."
Luca testified he came out, identified himself as the general manager of the facility. Luca could have been anyone came out trouble. And there are many people there who may very well have told. Could have been a Secret Service agent, could have been an undercover police officer, could have been anything. Luca clearly did not identify himself. So we can't, I don't think you rest your case upon Luca's instruction to him.
But if I may, circumstantially, what Ms. Woolridge says is, I'm trying to get a hold of the manager to come out here and clear this up. That's the conversation she's having on board with Mr. Ridley.
Right.
And then Mr. Luca appears. And then by Mr. Ridley's own response, one could assume he knew who that was. He says to him, "Do you want me to leave?" If it wasn't the manager coming out, we knew what was coming out to talk to him. Who else would it be? I mean, you can prove circumstantially, and I think it's exactly what it is. I think when Mr. Luca comes out there, Mr. Ridley knows the manager's coming out. He said, ongoing conversation with Ms. Woolridge, my manager's coming out here. The gentleman appears, he says, "Do you want me to leave?" "Yeah." And he's wearing a tag like he indicated.
So if you're resting on that, why didn't the police immediately arrest him?
Why didn't they?
I mean, if you're resting on Luca's instruction, then the police could walk right up and immediately arrest him, but that's not what happened. Lenahan gave him further instruction.
They asked it, and you know what? That's what they gave him better for the doubt. If they wanted to leave, they didn't want to make an arrest. That's the last thing they wanted to do. They had no idea what this was. They wanted him to get out, get in his car, and get out of here. If he would have turned around and walked away, we wouldn't be here today.
No. I respectfully disagree with the state on this occasion. I think there was a lot going on. I understand and applaud the National Police Department's concern for safety at the facility, particularly recognizing the vice president was there at the same time. That does not suggest that the court should not apply. I find, as a matter of law, that the instruction to leave was communicated in a manner that could be understood by Mr. Ridley when Sergeant, now Lieutenant Lenahan, told him to leave. Immediately upon that instruction, he commenced leaving. The fact that he chose to back up, the fact that he's professionally, that's what he does. He was not taking a step every 10 minutes. He was moving in a reasonable fashion, recognizing that he was backing up. And he apparently, based on the evidence that I have, was moving almost directly toward his vehicle, because recognizing that to some extent you can't walk directly from a building to his vehicle, because there are terraced areas there. Based upon the evidence I have before me, I find not guilty with regard to that. Thank you very much.